I'm Kristen with the Rogers Public Library, and this week for Quilled Creations we are going to be making a little pine tree to add to our winter scene. So in your craft packet you will have 1/4 of a strip of brown and 2 strips of green, and I will show you how to make a pine tree. So to begin, we are going to take our 4th strip of brown and roll it up into a little ball, and then we are going to make the visible part of the trunk of the pine tree. So we want this to either be a square or a rectangle, and that is up to you. So once it's rolled up, you can let it go. And I'm going to leave it this small, but if you want to make yours bigger, you can. And then I'm going to seal it up. And then to pinch it into a square or rectangle, pinch it like we're going to make a marquee shape, pointed on both ends, and then pinch it in the other direction, and that will give you a square or a triangle. So we can go ahead and add this piece to our winter scene if we know where we want our tree to be. So I'm going to put mine down here in the front. Going to go right there, and then I will set that aside, and we'll take our greens, and for the first strip we're going to cut it into thirds. So fold it to about thirds. It doesn't have to be exact. And then we can cut it. And then each one of these we're going to roll up, and then we're going to make it into the marquee shape, or like an eyeball shape. So we'll roll it up. And then we can let it go. And then for our first piece, we're going to want to fluff it up a little bit to make it larger. So just kind of use your fingers to unroll it a little bit. And then we'll seal it up. And then we can pinch it into that marquee shape. And we'll set that aside and grab another strip. And this one we want to be about the same size, or maybe just a little bit smaller. For each one that we go, we're going to be a little bit smaller than the last one, so that our tree will be shaped like a pine tree and come to a point at the top. So roll it up, let it go. You can fluff it up just a little bit if you want to, but not much. It'll just depend on how large you made your last piece. And then we'll pinch 2 sides to make that little marquee shape, and we'll set that over here, and you can see the start of our tree. We'll make it into a triangle. So we'll take the next one and we'll make the same shape, just a little bit smaller than the last one. Let it go. This one I'm not going to make any bigger, so I'm just going to go ahead and seal it up. And then pinch 2 sides to make that little marquee shape. And we'll put it over here with the rest of our tree. And then we're going to cut the next strip into 4ths. So we can just go ahead and cut it in half, and then cut it in half again. And now we're going to make 3 more marquee shapes, each time getting a little bit smaller. It's okay to have some that are the same size, but we want it to move towards being a triangle, smaller at the top. So we'll seal it up, pinch it into our marquee shape, set that aside. roll up the next one. This one I'm gonna actually pull just a little bit tighter after I let it go, and then seal it up, pinch it into our marquee shape. Now we're getting pretty small. So the next one we're going to want to make either that same size or just a tiny bit smaller, and this will be our last marquee shape. So again, I'm going to pull it so it's going to be a little bit tighter and smaller. Seal it up and pinch it. All right. Now we have some very small shapes over there. Now our last piece we're going to roll up and keep it pretty tight and small so we can let it go. Then we're going to want to pull it a little bit, get it a little tighter, and then seal it up. And this one we want to be a triangle. So we're going to start with like a teardrop shape, just pinching on one side, and then we're just going to flatten out that bottom. You can press it against your thumb to flatten out the bottom to make a little triangle shape. And this will give us the top of our tree. So now we just have to add all of these pieces to our picture. So we'll take our largest marquee shape, and glue it right above our little stump. And grab the next one, and we'll just add them all the way to the triangle at the very top. And that will give us our tree. And then for our last piece, our triangle, we of course want the point of the triangle to be at the top. And then we have our pine tree. And there we go. I would love to see pictures of your completed pine trees in the comments if you would like to share them. Or since this completes our winter scene, you can show a picture of your entire winter scene if you would like to share it. So thank you so much for joining me, and I will see you next week in our first week of February for a completely new Quilled Creations project. Bye.